Something definitely feels off here, right? Like there's some undercurrent swirling around Eugenio Suarez and the New York Yankees that we haven't quite pieced together yet. I mean, if you caught the All-Star Game buzz, there was this subtle but curious moment during the festivities. Suarez was asked about the possibility of being traded to a team like the Yankees, a contender. And his response, it wasn't your typical "I just want to stay put" kind of answer. Instead, he acknowledged the Yankees' reputation, their hunger to win, and even said he'd do his best to help bring a World Series trophy to New York. That kind of openness is rare and got a lot of people wondering, is something actually brewing behind the scenes looking at Suarez's season? There's no denying the guy's been putting up solid numbers. He's hitting around 150 at the plate with 31 home runs and 78 runs batted in. His OPS is up near 889, and his Ops Plus of 142 tells us he's performing well above league average offensively. While his defense at third base might not be elite, the Yankees have been searching for that right-handed power bat to shake things up in their lineup, and Suarez fits the mold perfectly. Once the chatter was all about finding a power hitter for first base or third base, and here Suarez stands as an attractive candidate to fill that role. But then there's the tricky side of the equation: age and contract length. Suarez is about to turn 34, which in baseball terms means you're probably looking at a 12-month rental for this season. The Diamondbacks, of course, will want a hefty return for a guy who could be gone in a flash. And even if the Yankees were to get a player like Zach Gallen in return, that's a gamble too. Gallen isn't having the best year, and with free agency looming, it's hard to see the Yankees giving up premium prospects for a short-term fix, unless they get something extraordinary in return. Speaking of prospects, this is where things get tense. Fans and analysts alike have voiced their reluctance to part with young talented players like Spencer Jones, who's been absolutely crushing it in AAA. Jones is arguably the hottest hitter in minor league baseball right now, showing power, consistency, and a .00 ops over his last month. Trading away someone like him just to get Suarez, a player with a limited window, is a big risk. Yet if the Yankees want Suarez badly enough, they may have to consider deals involving both Jones and Kem Schleitler. That's a tough pill to swallow for anyone who's been following the farm system closely. Then there was that weird commercial during the All-Star Game where Suarez was casually sitting in a booth and waving to Max Fried and Carlos Rodon in theirs. On the surface, it seemed like nothing more than a coincidence or a scripted moment. But with everything else going on, fans can't help but wonder if there's some subtle foreshadowing going on, like maybe the Yankees and Diamondbacks are already quietly talking behind the scenes. Could the front office know something the rest of us don't? The way Suarez's tone has shifted over the last couple of weeks, from not wanting to be traded to now openly considering a move to New York, adds fuel to that speculation. Of course, even if the Yankees do pull off a trade for Suarez, it's clear they can't stop there. The bullpen remains a glaring concern. Names like David Robertson have popped up as potential targets to shore up relief pitching, but it's an open secret that the team also needs starting pitching depth. If they're serious about contending, adding Suarez might just be one piece of a bigger puzzle. The question then becomes, how much are the Yankees willing to sacrifice? Are they ready to give up major league-ready talent or top prospects for immediate gains? Last season, the Yankees made a bold move, acquiring Mark Leiter Jr., trading a top 10 prospect Jack Neely to do so. That kind of move is expensive, but it shows the front office's willingness to gamble for the present. Still, the market for players like Tanner Scott last year shows how crazy trades can get. The Padres reportedly gave up 3 of their top 5 prospects for Scott, a reliever, and he was only a 12-month rental too. If that's the going rate for bullpen help, imagine what a full-time everyday player like Suarez might cost. The Diamondbacks are sure to ask for a king's ransom, especially if other teams like the Seattle Mariners are in on him too. And let's not forget the age factor again. Suarez is top 5 in the league in home runs this year, but at 34 the clock is ticking. Even if the Yankees wanted to extend him beyond this season, committing to a multi-year deal with a player nearing his mid-30s is a gamble in itself. We all know how unforgiving Father Time can be in professional sports, especially in baseball, where youth and endurance matter. But for now, his bat is a rare commodity, and if the Yankees want to boost their lineup's power, Suarez is a prime candidate. One thing that stands out is how people sometimes overemphasize on-base percentage when discussing Suarez. His .3 to OBP might seem modest, but it's important to remember that he walks, often contributing to that solid ops near .900, compared to other stars like Juan Soto, whose OPS and OBP are higher. Suarez still brings a punch to the lineup. That can't be ignored. The Yankees need that kind of consistent offensive threat. All this talk and speculation combined with Suarez's recent openness to the idea of joining the Yankees makes the whole situation feel like it's about to boil over. Whether it's just coincidence or something more, there's definitely smoke here. Maybe it's just a matter of time before official talks come out and we start seeing announcements about negotiations between New York and Arizona. The deadline is creeping closer, and last year the Yankees made a big move just days before it closed. Could something similar happen this time? Could Suarez be donning the pinstripes within the next week or so? It's too early to say for sure. But if you're a Yankees fan craving more power and depth, the prospect of adding 31 home runs and nearly a .900 OPS at third base is hard to pass up. The best defensive third baseman in the league might just be within reach. And here's the thing, even if you're skeptical about Suarez or unsure if he's really the guy, that puts the Yankees over the top. You can't deny the momentum of this storyline. This isn't one of those baseless trade rumors that fades after a few headlines. No, this one's got layers. It's not just one quote or one tweet or one piece of speculation. It's the way the dominoes are lining up. Suarez's changing attitude, the Yankees' very clear offensive gaps, the timing with the deadline looming, and yes, even that strange All-Star Game commercial. They all add up to something that at the very least feels meaningful. Let's just take a step back and look at what Suarez would bring in the short term. You've got a guy with proven pop still producing at an elite level despite being in his mid-30s. He gives you instant credibility at the plate, especially from the right side. And he's the kind of player who doesn't shrink under pressure. You put him in that Yankee Stadium atmosphere. You give him the short porch in right field to work with, and suddenly you're looking at a guy who could change the outcome of a close game with one swing of the bat. That's what the Yankees have been missing. Someone with presence, someone who makes opposing pitchers sweat in key moments. The concern, of course, is cost. No one's denying that. But that's the trade deadline dilemma for any serious contender. You're always playing the game of short-term boost versus long-term development. And with Spencer Jones, the front office is sitting on what could be a future superstar. He's hitting like a man on fire in the minors. 23 home runs over 1,000 OPS and an OPS over 1,200 in the last month. That's insane production. You don't just give that up unless you're getting someone back who fundamentally shifts your season or your future. But here's where it gets complicated: the pressure. The Yankees don't operate like a small market team. They don't get to sit back and say, hey, let's wait and see if our prospects pan out in 3 years. This is New York. This is winnow territory, and when you're chasing championships, not just wild card berths or division titles, but actual rings, sometimes that means rolling the dice. And if Brian Cashman and company really believe Suarez can be a difference maker, then pulling the trigger might be worth it, especially if they feel like this current roster is one or two pieces away from clicking. What's also fascinating about this whole Suarez situation is how much it's reminded people of how unpredictable the deadline can be. Last year, it was Tanner Scott, a reliever, who brought in a massive haul. 3 of the top 5 prospects from San Diego just for a bullpen arm. Now compare that to Suarez, a guy who plays every day, hits in the heart of the order, and brings clubhouse presence. If that's the current market, the price tag on Suarez could get outrageous real fast, and if more teams jump in, which they likely will, then the Yankees may find themselves in a bidding war, whether they like it or not. Seattle is lurking. That's not a rumor, that's a legitimate factor. The Mariners know Suarez, they've had success with him before, and if they want a reunion, they could very well force the Yankees' hand. That's how these things spiral. The second one other serious team shows up, the urgency shifts, and suddenly, you're not just negotiating with Arizona, you're negotiating against time and competition. And that's when prospects like Kem Schleitler or Spencer Jones suddenly become part of the conversation, not because the Yankees want to give them up, but because the market might demand it. It's also worth noting that Suarez's recent openness about New York has done more than raise eyebrows. It's opened the door psychologically. A few weeks ago, he wasn't even thinking about being moved. Arizona was home, and that was that. But now he's talking about wanting to help the Yankees win a World Series. That's not the kind of statement you make lightly, especially not during a high-profile moment like All-Star Weekend. Players are coach-trained and media savvy. For him to say something like that, knowing full well it would create waves, suggests at the very least that he's ready, maybe even hoping for a change. And look, Suarez isn't naive. He knows his age. He knows the chances of getting a long-term extension are slim. But what he also knows is that this could be his shot. His moment to jump into a title race, play meaningful games down the stretch, and remind the league what he's capable of under the spotlight. There's something powerful about that kind of motivation. You don't get the same fire playing out the string in a mid-year market with no playoff hopes. But you throw Suarez into Yankee Stadium in late August with the division on the line, and you might just see a whole different level of performance. Let's not forget what else the Yankees are juggling. Their bullpen has holes, their rotation has been inconsistent, and even their so-called core offensive players haven't been as dominant as they need to be. This isn't a team that can afford to be passive. If the Yankees sit on their hands and hope their internal pieces turn things around, they risk wasting another year of prime talent and big payroll. They have to be aggressive. Not reckless, but proactive. Suarez checks the boxes: power, experience, fit, and even though he's not a long-term solution, he's the kind of plug-and-play guy who can tilt a playoff race. There's also a growing sense that fans are starting to expect something. After the way last season ended, after how close they came and how many questions lingered into the offseason, this is not the time for front office caution. The fan base is smart, they see the flaws, and they're not going to be satisfied with low-impact moves. If you're the Yankees, you need to make a statement. Trading for Suarez might not be blockbuster level like landing Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani, but it's significant. It signals belief in this team's chances and gives everyone, players, coaches, and fans, a jolt of momentum. And what about Suarez's influence in the clubhouse? That's something people underestimate. This isn't a selfish player. He's known for being vocal, for backing up his teammates, and for maintaining a positive vibe even when things get tense. You add that to a Yankees team that's had its share of chemistry issues, and suddenly the deal makes even more sense. The postseason isn't just about talent. It's about energy, mentality, leadership, and Suarez brings that in spades. Even the subtle signals, like his body language in that All-Star Game commercial, have become part of this swirling narrative. Was it just a scripted skit? Probably. But in a league where image and brand are everything, even the smallest gestures get amplified. A wave at the pitchers on its own may be nothing, but in the context of everything else, the quote, the production, the rumors, it's just one more puzzle piece falling into place. We're not saying the deal is done. We're not saying it's guaranteed. But this much is clear: if there's an opening, the Yankees need to pounce. Because whether Suarez is the final piece, or just one of many, he represents something bigger: urgency, ambition, and a refusal to accept mediocrity. The front office has an opportunity to change the narrative of this season. And if Suarez is the guy they believe in, then waiting any longer might be the real mistake. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. Whispers are swirling through the baseball world as rumors suggest that Jorge Polano, the dynamic infielder known for his solid hitting and slick defense, could be making a blockbuster move to the New York Yankees. While nothing has been officially confirmed yet, sources close to the situation hint that the Yankees are seriously considering adding Polano to their roster, sparking excitement and speculation among fans and analysts alike. Polano, who has made a name for himself as one of the most versatile and consistent players in the league, would be a significant addition to the Yankees lineup. His ability to hit for average, combined with steady on-base skills and reliable glove work, aligns well with the Yankees' ongoing strategy of blending power hitters with players who can sustain offensive production throughout the season. For a team always hungry for championship glory, Polano's potential signing could provide the extra edge they need. The buzz gained momentum after some insiders hinted that the Yankees are keen on bolstering their infield depth with a lineup that includes stars like Aaron Judge and Giancarlo Stanton. Adding a player of Polano's caliber could create an even more formidable offense. Moreover, his experience and leadership qualities would mesh well with the clubhouse culture the Yankees strive to maintain. For Jorge Polano, the move to New York could represent a career-defining moment. Having spent most of his career with his current team, the possibility of joining the Yankees, a franchise with one of the most storied histories in sports, adds an intriguing narrative to his professional journey. Fans are eager to see how his skill set would translate to the intense spotlight and pressure of playing in Yankee Stadium, where expectations are always sky high. While the details remain under wraps, the baseball community is buzzing about the potential impact of this deal. Could Polano be the missing piece in the Yankees' pursuit of another World Series title? If negotiations proceed smoothly, the team might soon announce a signing that will shake up the league. For now, fans can only wait and watch as the rumor mill spins this tantalizing possibility into a thrilling prospect. As the offseason progresses, all eyes will be on the Yankees front office to see if they pull the trigger on this rumored acquisition. If it happens, Jorge Polano's name will be etched into Yankees lore as a player who not only made history by signing with the team, but also helped propel them toward another championship run. Until then, the speculation keeps the conversation alive, fueling excitement about what could be one of the most talked about moves of the year in baseball. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.